So today we're going to talk about our heel edge and the mistakes that people typically make when they are starting on that heel edge as a skill. Now the first problem that we typically see is related to posture, and we see that people's knees are facing towards each other. So instead of facing outwards in that nice cowboy stance with a nice bend in the hips and most bend in the knees, typically you see people's knees go inwards, and therefore forces our balance and forces our posture to be slightly incorrect. Next problem we typically see is that to do with balance. So people tend to be leaning on one side or another. That's because they favour a foot or they stand on one foot more than the other in day-to-day life, and everyone's typically got that. But what you see in beginners is they really favour that, and they want to stand more on their left foot, more on their right, which causes the board to want to slide because they're putting more pressure on one side and the other, and more forces the board to slide in one direction rather than being nice and even on both feet sliding down the slope. Now the most common problems we see are related to edge control. Now edge control is one of our key fundamentals when we're learning to heel edge, and the key problems we typically see come in two areas. The first one is that people are trying to lift up their toes and control pressure on that heel edge by basically straightening their hips and straightening their knees, and that forces the toes to go so high that the board slips out and they end up sitting on their bum. This is because people are really trying to lift that edge up. Instead of using their ankles, they use their hips and their bum to lift that up, and that's why they're trying to slow down by doing that action. The other key problem related to edge control is that people have really inconsistent with how much they lift their toes up and down and trying to find that happy medium. By doing this, what they do is they lift it up really high or they drop it really low, and the problem with dropping it really low to then try and slide forwards again is that people, when they drop it really low, is that they catch their toes. Now catching their toes and catching that toe edge means they're just going to fall forward. We can avoid a lot of these key problems by maintaining a good posture, nice and balanced on both feet, and really trying to make small adjustments through that snowboard to try and accelerate it and slow yourself down. We don't want to make too hesitant movements, too inconsistent movements. If we do that, that's going to be where the problems arise.